Welcome to the Becoming a Manifest Star podcast. I am your host, Brie Garnica, and I am an intuitive entrepreneur, quantum manifesting practitioner, and energy coach. Nothing, and I mean nothing, lights my soul on fire like helping female entrepreneurs take simple actions to live in radical alignment of their soul's purpose and make it a business. I teach women the skills to master their mindset, find their energetic flow, and create the structure to experience wild success and abundance without the ick factor of burnout or hustle culture. In this podcast, we will cover all things regarding mindfulness, quantum physics, neuroscience, and a little bit of the woo. Here, you'll find guest experts and easy step-by-step actionable strategies you can start implementing into your business today to become that master manifest star that I know you are. This is Becoming a Manifest Star podcast, and let's get started. Hello, my gorgeous honeybees. Okay, so as many of you know, if you've been hanging out on my Instagram for the past month or so, you probably saw that I went to San Diego for more or less a human development conference. I go every year. I've gone for the past 3 years. It's always a super fun time. I always come back with so much knowledge that I cannot wait to share with you all. And today is no different. So in today's podcast, I'm going to be going into a really great talk that I experienced from Adam Grant. He is the author of Think Again, and his talk was all about like knowing what you don't know, which I know this was geared for talent development professionals, but honestly, it was just so prevalent, and he was hitting on some incredible things for entrepreneurs as well. So I want to share those with you. And so we're going to get into that right now. So the one thing that Adam Grant found in common with business owners, especially like successful business owners who have had success in the past 20, 10 years, even 3 to 5, he noticed. The one thing that he noticed they all struggled with was making assumptions about how their business works and being unwilling to rethink or unlearn things that are considered best practices or things that have worked for us in the past. So why would we change them? Which personally, as a millennial who was in the corporate America workplace, my biggest ick factor is truly hearing the, well, it works, so why would we change it phrase. I'm sure I'm not the only one alone who like gets physical shivers whenever they hear that phrase. I never want to hear that phrase again in my life. But regardless, that is the thing that, many business owners, especially ones who have experienced some level of success, struggle with the ability to being unwilling to rethink and unlearn. The thing is, your business is going to experience quantum leaps in its ability to usher in success and abundance, and even in the scope of the amount of like your audience size and everything like that. It's going to experience leaps and bounds. It's going to experience those quantum leaps not when you continue to do as you have always done, but when you get better and faster at rethinking. And the way you do that is through your network. And a lot of times when you think of your network, you think of, like, I'm talking about, your support network, like the people that you have around you to encourage you to try something new and, offer that supportive advice and yada, yada. But it's also just as equally as important to have a challenge network. And when Adam Grant said this, my mind was totally blown because he put into words the things that were always kind of floating around. Like I have a challenge network. I actively seek out members in my challenge network. I never knew that's what they were called. I just kind of lumped them in with my support network, but he brought up a great point that these are actually a different type of people. A challenge network is a group of individuals that you rely on to give you the unpleasant truths. And this is where coaches and mentors show up to share their awesome magic with us. Honestly, I do see a lot of business entrepreneurs who have experienced mild success be so reluctant to get a coach or a mentor. And this can be for a variety of reasons. I know for myself personally, I was a little bit hesitant because for some reason I had this mindset going into building my business that I had to do everything myself. I had to fully DIY this. I had to do my own taxes, do my own website, do my own social media, and I had to do my own like CEOing coach. Like I had to do it all myself. And that is just so farther from the truth. You are going to either be investing your time or your money. And if you're unwilling to invest your money, then it will take you much longer to get where you want to go. But if you want to get where you want to go in a fraction of the time, then you need to look at investing your money in a coach or a mentor who is where you want to be. And you will experience that shrink of time. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Back to what it takes to have a challenge network. So, because that's the thing. We want to get people into your network who isn't just going to support you, but they're going to challenge you. But what makes a good addition to your challenge network? So I want you to think of this table 2x2. In row 1, column 1, we have the giver. That is someone who is agreeable and they love to give. They love to give advice. They love to give you their time, their opinion. They like to give you any part of them. And they're always going to be agreeable, which honestly just translates to a yes man. A yes man is not going to be a good addition to your challenge network because they're just going to say yes to everything. And like we said, that's not the point. The other type of person is a agreeable taker. And those people are the fakes. Those are the people that show up really agreeable, show up very warm, show up very nice, but actually somehow they take from your time, they take from your energy. It's always about what can you do for them. It's not a reciprocal relationship whatsoever. They just take. Those are the fakers. Obviously, we do not want those in your challenge networks. In fact, I would honestly say setting the boundaries to not have them in any of your network whatsoever. And then you also have the disagreeable takers, which those people are just, I don't know, evil. Like, we just don't like those people at all. They are not fun and warm and fuzzy to be around, and they constantly take from you. I think that is a very obvious, just a toxic person, and once again, should also just not be in your support group, in your network whatsoever. But then you have the special, like, golden zone person, which is the disagreeable giver. That is the person who is prickly because they are not afraid to share those unpleasant truths, and they are more than happy to be honest, but also give you the constructive feedback to grow. So they're not just going to diss on you because they don't agree with you, but they're going to also be giving you, their opinions, their facts, feedbacks, experiences, data, and that really is honestly just gold, because honesty is truly the highest expression of loyalty. And those prickly but valuable individuals, those are the kinds of people that you want to see in that coach or mentor role. You do not want a yes man as a coach. That will be really supportive. And yes, part of being a coach is being a cheerleader and being able to see that untapped potential in your client and really believing in them to, get them to start believing in themselves and making that awesome shit happen. And at the same time, we wouldn't be good coaches or mentors if we weren't there to give you the unpleasant truths, being able to hold up that mirror and reflect back your behaviors, your limiting beliefs, the triggers, the things that are holding you back, the ways you're showing up small. You have to have someone who's going to be able to do that so that you start getting outside of your comfort zone, and that is where the soul growth starts happening. And once you start experiencing that soul growth, then honestly, the growth in your business is not far to follow. It's coming. It's on there. It's just science. So then the other reason why it is so imperative to have a coach or a mentor as a, you know, growing and expanding entrepreneur is because you want to find the coach who is going to be able to create the psychological safety for you to start reprogramming your brain to take more risks and fail or make a mistake, and it still feels safe. Failure becomes an opportunity to relearn and adjust. There is no big story about how, well, X, Y, and Z happened because of A, B, and C, which then means I'm a bad business person. I'm a terrible artist. I'm a crappy photographer. No one likes my stuff. No, 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 no. No. This is just data. This is just an opportunity to, like I said, relearn, adjust. It does not mean anything. Release the story and just take it for face value. Which honestly then brings me to the third point that Adam Grant talked about, which I thought was so spot on. Having the right kind of coach and mentor helps you start to rethink your mindset. So Adam Grant talked about this thing called embodying a scientific mindset. And that's where instead of looking at things as I'm right, I'm always right, or, I'm right, you're wrong, it's the scientist mindset is I might be wrong. And the power in that mindset is everything is an experiment. Your business strategy is a theory. Your product launch is an experiment. Entrepreneurs need to think like scientists because that is how you will start thinking better and faster and being able to rethink, adjust, and go and try again. A lot of best practices are currently rooted in the past and they're no longer relevant in the post-pandemic. And so by being able to have the scientific mindset, we are going to be able to be the ones who go and create new ways of life, new ways to run a business. Actually, instead of having to have a work-life balance, it's a work-life integration. And that's really where the future lies. And having the right kind of coach means having the person on your side who's going to help you to embody this mindset and reprogram your brain. So your ideas, your business, the results that are happening do not become a part of your identity. It's just all part of this grand experiment of, figuring out how to turn your soul's desire, your passions into a business that can support your lifestyle, both financially, also in the freedom it provides and the opportunities that it brings and the kind of people it attracts into your life. We're not just looking for something to pay the bills here. We are trying to create a new reality where you get to experience abundance because you are working with your energy and in flow of your soul's purpose instead of sitting in a 9-to-5 box, chained to a desk, making somebody else the big money, and you're barely able to scrape by. And then the last thing I'm going to say regarding Adam Grant's talk and how it's related to entrepreneurs and, finding that coach and finding that mentor. This is a bonus section here, but it's just too good for me not to share with you all. So he said he heard this from a mentor of his. And, Adam Grant was saying like, oh, I was thinking about, I think it was like writing a book. He's like, I'm thinking about writing a book. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm still working on it, yada, yada. And then finally his mentor was like, in your lifetime, are you going to write that book? And he said, yeah, totally. And then his mentor replied back with like, then what are you waiting for? And I thought that's so powerful because in my own life, there was this last fall, I had the opportunity to speak at a conference, which is wild to me because in my head, I planned on maybe, like if I had to guess, I was probably going to speak at my first conference 5 years in the future, maybe when I'm like, in my 30s, potentially. Like, I've been in business with Golden Bee for like 5-6 years. I don't know. It was something I would do in the future. And then, like I said, when the opportunity to speak came up in the fall, and last year in the fall, I was like, I know I want to do it. I am absolutely terrified of doing it. But if I don't do it now, then when will I? And if I am going to do it in my future, then why not just go ahead and start now? It was a complete paradigm shift and breaking down, being able to do something like I never even imagined. I thought this was going to happen like years in the future when I was quote unquote ready. And instead being able to own my fear and go do it anyway. And it was one of the most expansive experiences that I ever had. Not just in the ability to, speak at this conference in front of all of these talent development professionals about the importance of self-aware leadership, but also in being able to prove to myself that I can do scary, big things and I can manage my anxiety. I can show up in my authentic energy. I can do well. And I have opportunities to improve if I want to take public speaking further. I definitely was able to identify it'd be good to get a coach, probably do these things, yada, yada. So with all that said, that was some of the gold nuggets I received from Adam Grant. I now bestow upon you. Let me know what your favorite part was, any major takeaways or aha moments. Honestly, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts. Thank you for joining in on this episode of Becoming a Manifest Star podcast with me, Coach Bree. I hope that our discussion has inspired you to tap into your own power of manifestation and use it to achieve your wildest dreams. Don't forget to like, follow, and leave a review of this podcast. Also, feel free to drop any ideas for future podcasts by commenting on my most recent Instagram post. Remember, you have the ability to create your own reality, so trust in your magic and good things are on their way.